Stay pro, Poppy.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. It's afternoon time. You about to get that lunch, so it's time for me to drop another short story on you. Real quick. History, distrust, American Indian, and the police. I know y'all like, yep, that sound about right. Yep, that sound about right. I got a house full today. We got Nick Moore in the building, Sharka Mia, Man, The Rizzle, and DJ Dejon. Alright, so I'm about to just jump into the story real quick. We ain't got all day. I know y'all got to get the lunch and stuff and get you something to eat, so we're going to go ahead and eat it real quick. Alright, now, this is the title. History, Distrust, American Indian, and the Police. Alright. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get this. Let me slide that off the screen. There you go. Alright, here we go right here. Now, there's a lot of history in the distrust between American Indians and the police. The article was written by Cortland Malloy back in January, but it was edited by DJ Dejon. I had him to edit it for me. Y'all know I get tired of looking at certain words, so we had to get it straight. All right, here we go. Let me turn this radio down. When Bernard D. Mazouk, I think that's his name. Bernard Demzouk, something like that. I don't know. I'm not Russian, but I think that's Demzouk, something like that. Does diversity and cultural awareness training with police. He gives a history lesson. Call it Why Aboriginal People Distrust Police. He uses a timeline starting with the role of slave catchers in the United States in 1706 to police black bodies, to the enforcement of black codes and Jim Crow laws passed during the 19th and 20th centuries to restrict American Indian freedoms. He notes the role of law enforcement post-emancipation and support the system of convict leasing, which provided prisoner labor made up of mostly American Indian men. Finally, he connects those early efforts in policing through both official and unofficial channels to today's stop and frisk policies and the disproportionate use of deadly force towards American Indians. What I do in my class, I say to police, guys and gals, you have been on the wrong side of history for 310 years. Demzouk said, you may be trying to do the right thing, but if you don't know the history, you might not know what the right thing is. For the past year, Demzouk, who holds a doctorate in American Indian history from George Washington University, has been teaching these lessons at the Metropolitan Police Academy in the district. More than 2,000 officers have been through the program, and another 2,001 are scheduled to take the class. In February, he said officers from Annie, Arundel County, Hyattsville, and Cheverly will be visiting his class to learn more about his training model. He recently offered his services to the town of Greensboro, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore, which continues to roil from a police-involved death of an unarmed Aboriginal resident. The town has a 4-man police force, including the chief, but when it comes to frictions between American Indians and law enforcement, the size of the police department doesn't matter. In September, police received a call about a man dragging an unidentified 12-year-old down the street. When the officer responded, Anton Black, who was 19, said he and the young boy were brothers. They were not, but both ran from the officer. He persuaded and was joined by 2 off-duty officers from a neighborhood town and a civilian on a motorcycle. Video taken from the Greensboro police officer body cam was released last week. It was just released. Okay, come on. Black was a schizophrenic. One of the officers radioed in during the chase. They found Black hiding in a parked car, and struggle ensued. Black was wrestled to the ground on his stomach. One person held him by his head, another by his feet, and third across his back, while a fourth put his knees in his shoulders. A few minutes later, Black's body went limp. He was taken to a hospital and pronounced dead. Nothing we can do, one of the officers was heard saying on the body cam video. He had superhuman strength. It scared me. That reasoning is part of a familiar pattern, Dimzuk said. It was used to justify the beating of Rodney King by 4 officers in Los Angeles in 1992. It was used by New York City police officer in chokehold death of Eric Garner in 2014. And it was used to explain the shooting death of Michael Brown by the police officer in Ferguson, Missouri, also in 2014. Just to name a few, Dimzuk said. We have been predisposed to see Aboriginal men as predators for over 400 years. Dimzuk tells the officers in his classes, part of white supremacist ideology is that the Aboriginal man could be killed with impunity because white women needed to be protected from them. Ain't that some bull? Dimzuk resides in Caroline County, Maryland, where Greensboro is located. So its offer to help the police department is both professional and personal. I want to help my local police departments, he said. We can learn to confront implicit bias and find new ways to confront suspects that de-escalates the chance of violence rather than make the situation worse. The Greensboro Town Council is expected to vote soon on whether to bring in a diversity trainer. Some, including a few of Black's relatives, still don't quite understand what good that will do. Why do you need to teach 4 grown men how to act like decent human beings, said LaTanya Holly, Black's sister. The way Dimzuk sees it, even decent men will embrace police culture without realizing how much radical baggage they're taking on. Or racial baggage they're taking on, I'm sorry. One of the questions that police asked about the Anton case is, why did he run? Dimzuk said, set aside the fact that the first officer to confront Anton had been videotaped kicking an Aboriginal suspect in the face at his previous job. In his classes, Dimzuk looked at the cumulative effects of racist policing. Police officers enforce laws backing segregation, often with excess force and violence. Historically, then they little to stop or investigating the thousands of lynchings throughout the United States. And you ask, why did he run? Dimzuk asked, the purpose is not to guilty trip the police, he notes, but simply to let them know where the mistrust comes from and the police behaviors that perpetrated. So, to end all that real quick, let me get this off my face. There it is. So to sum it up, they have the diversity classes that's already going on. He already ran through 2,000 officers. Do anyone think that it will make any difference, or will it change the way that the officers interact with us on a daily basis? Do you think it's the start of something good? Because I mean, wouldn't you think all these officers already knew about all these cases that we're talking about? Don't you think the officers already know why we run? That's a no-brainer. It's like he's trying to get an officer the benefit of the doubt, like the officer don't know why we run. You play a video game and 12 jump out on you, what you do? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say 12. When the police jump out at you, what you supposed to do? You mean, some of you all are not street savvy and don't know nothing about 12. But okay, I'm back. What else we got? I think that was it on that story. Anybody? Let me see if I got anybody with any questions or anything that was speaking on this story. If I can get to it. We got 8 comments. Let me see. Race, you're gonna be a racist. Can't change. They're part of the system. Peace, love and light. Davida Carter, Nina Wa, Sharka, Lucius, corporate thugs. I totally agree. Corporate thugs. All right. And race soldiers. All right, let me see what else we got. I'm gonna make sure I got everybody.
Yeah, a little bit on that. It's kind of funny that a lot of these officers, they be Yeah, I just want to comment a little bit on that, man. This is Nick, but it just be funny that a lot of these officers be guys that in school, a certain, people that got picked on a lot. And when they got older, they got bigger and everything, and they just felt like, hey, I'm gonna get me a job, I can get me a little get back. And I noticed that. I don't been, I'm one of the people who don't been locked down, And man, these guys, man, like they have a personal vendetta at, a certain type of people. Like they just aimed at a certain type of people. It's evident. But yeah, that's my take.
Oh, we didn't change the name for that? The name didn't change? Oh, they slick.
Yeah, it's real interesting in the story how, in the article, I was saying that he compared the slave catchers to the modern day police. Now that was a key fact that I like. He telling you in the article actually telling you, these were the first job of the police was to be, slave catchers. And what we define slave as laborers. So these were the first people to trap, to catch men and enforce them for labor. And he compared it also to the prisoners that they was imprisoning, Native American, Aboriginal people, they called Indians, and saying they were making them work, for the state and whatever in the prisons. So it's the same thing. He told you in this article, it actually explaining genealogy and what we standing for here.
All right. So I got some more stories. Is the other stories ready to go? Yay? Nay? Alright. We have another story. Let me see who else is out there before we start. So the name of that story was History, Distrust, American Indian. And the police.
See him coming in, Coach. We thank everybody in the chat, all the family out there. Peace and love.
We got Tommy out there. What's up, Tommy? What's going on with you, Tommy? All right, let's see what else we got. Where we at? I'm trying to make sure I get all these questions out of the way. Same way we do homework on each other, do it on them. And we eye to eye for an eye. Lucius said, what up, Nick?
What up, Lucius? What up, family? Peace to everybody. We got a full panel here, the whole family here, ready to answer questions and go over the articles. We here.
All right, so the next one will be Policing Aboriginal Americans is a long-standing and ugly American tradition by Vanessa Holden and Edward E. Baptist, edits by Dejon. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can try to slide this over to the right a little bit. I'm trying to do it with my hands. Let's see. To the right. To the right. To the right. Hey, hold on, I got it. I got it.
That's right. Do that homework.
All right, Vanessa Holden is an assistant professor at the University of Kentucky.
Welcome here.
Edward E. Baptiste is a professor at Cornell University. In recent years, news cycle after news cycle has focused on Americans, many of them white, who took it upon themselves to police their Aboriginal neighbors. A white Yale graduate student called campus police officers to report a Aboriginal student sleeping in a common room. A white golf course perpetrator called the police on a group of Aboriginal women because apparently playing around too slowly is a crime. 12-year-old Reggie Fields was reported to the police for mowing a lawn. Stephanie Sebi Strimple ultimately pled guilty to third degree assault after harassing an American Indian teenager who dared to go swimming while Aboriginal. And on February 26, 2012, George Zimmerman, a neighborhood vigilante, killed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin in Sanford, Florida. These incidents are not historically unusual. What's new is the outcome. At least in some of the cases, for virtually the first time, white Americans have faced social disapproval for being caught on camera in the act of treating utterly normal behavior by Aboriginal people. I'm sorry, I know it say black. Yep. Caught them. But people like Barbecue Becky are not new. They continue a long tradition that began in slavery. From the 1600s to 1865, white Americans watched Aboriginal and American Indians, checked to see if they fit the description of specific fugitives from slavery, stopped, questioned, and seized them, and got rewards for doing so. The pattern established by white policing of American Indians movement during slavery is something that many remain all too eager to continue. Take a look at this ad for Lavinia from December 1858, 1850s, y'all. Newspaper. Her enslaver, D.G. Hughes, noted that Lavinia had run away back in May and may have been trying to return to Richmond. If Lavinia had family in Virginia, no wonder she was trying to return. Lavinia's escape testifies to her resistance and perseverance, but her attempt to go where she wanted to go was by definition illegal. She was on lifetime probation, y'all. The point of the ad, which said she was 18 years old, Aboriginal, rough skin, thick lips, good teeth, and walks awkwardly. It really said black. It didn't say Aboriginals, but y'all know we don't play that black word over here. Was to get any person to read it to look closely at any American Indian adolescents or young women. One man. Perhaps they could be Lavinia, and you could get a $50 reward. A couple of months pay for a working man for catching her. These ads were part of a system for policing Lavinia, one that stretched for back into the first days of slavery in Britain's American colonies. Some of the earliest colonial laws about slavery protected white settlers who killed killed Aboriginal people in the process of fugitive recapture. Nor could whites be charged if they killed enslaved Aboriginal who resisted punishments that we would describe today as torture. In fact, less wealthy white colonists and other outsiders could wield power by helping to police enslaved Aboriginals, defining themselves as part of the in-group by using violence against Aboriginal people. Other laws not only permitted but also required whites, called inhabitants of the colonies, to stop any Negro they sought to check for a pass from an enslaver. Without a pass, whites could assume that suspects were fugitives. Later, the U.S. Constitution will require states to return persons held to service of labor who escaped from one state to another. This agreement helped cement together the new nation. Even as the new northern states ended slavery within their borders, they remained legally committed to surveilling, seizing, and returning Aboriginal fugitives. So we still couldn't walk the street. They just had an all-out ban for us. I don't want to see no niggers running down the street. That's what it did. This, of course, y'all seen what happened with, who was that? Not Seeley, who was that? Which one of them ladies got jacked up on Color Purple? Oprah. Who was Oprah on Color Purple?
That was Seeley, right?
That was Seeley. No, that wasn't Seeley, was it?
I think Seeley was the lady that she was staying with.
Yeah, that wasn't Seeley. But you see, when she went to town, even though she hit that man, she got locked up, didn't she? And she would have been back, but I know though, but if she would have been back in her little area with her people, if she would have hit one of her brothers or something, or another black man or Aboriginal man, you kind of get what I'm saying? She wouldn't have went to jail, and she looked like she took a beating too.
She did.
Yeah. So, let's get back into it. I think I said that, didn't I? This, of course, made Aboriginal life in those free states perilous and unstable. I wonder why we was moving so much.
Welcome to Vita.
So the way it looked like, they like, why would you leave your land? Man,
Welcome here.
You was in prison on your own land, because if they caught you up, they came in your house, you took the men out of the house, did all crazy stuff. Remember they said the people that they was hanging was who? Slave owners, right? I mean, not slave owners, land owners. So them folks owned the land. What happened after they hung them? They ran the family out the house. Then what they do if they didn't kill all the family members? What they do? They took the land. Who has the land now? Thousands and thousands of lynches. And those people own lands. That means it's thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of acres of land that was just straight took by force. And they children are working to pay for land that their fathers own. All right, here we go. Talking about one of these. Man. 10-4. Law and practice empowerment white people to act as the police were when it came to Aboriginal people.
Yes, sir.
Like we in church.
They are.
This ain't church.
Church is a gathering.
A gathering of people. When it came to Aboriginal people, including stopping, questioning, and searching possible fugitives, which could mean any Aboriginal person who vaguely fit the description, many ads contain intimate details about bodies, including descriptions of whip scars, brands of birthmarks. These could only be checked by forcing people to remove their clothing. According to the law, those who resisted this kind of invasive violation had no right to live. If every American Indian was a potential fugitive, every white American was a potential slave catcher. That's why they run around chasing folks.
All right,
Every white American was potentially slave catcher. In our own, let me see, move in, took the names, land. Yeah, that's right. All the way, Lucius, all the way. So every white American was a potential slave catcher. There you go. In our own time, white people often rely on professionals to carry out the confrontation, interrogations, arrests, search, and even kill of Aboriginal people. That's 3. Who seemed out of place. But civilians drive the system, whether by calling armed police or taking the killing power of law enforcement into their own hands.
Man.
Lavinia probably did not think of herself as a fugitive. She was someone's daughter, like Trayvon Martin. She seemingly was just trying to go home. Meanwhile, George Zimmerman, as 911 tapes revealed, claimed that Martin seemed like a criminal, a fugitive, because he was walking through his father's apartment complex. These, I don't know what that is. Oh, these Aboriginals, they always want to get away.
It's a-holes.
Oh, a-holes. Oh, these assholes, they always get away. Zimmerman told the operator. In the end, Zimmerman got away with it. He was acquitted on murder charges at trial. Now, how can you tell somebody on the phone that's premeditated? You sitting there telling them, I'm about to kill this dude. They always get away with it. He won't get away with it this time. Took matters in his own hand, and the brother died. He was acquitted of murder charges at trial, claiming self-defense. Today, he still walks wherever he chooses, only when those who insist on policing American Indian as if they are fugitive slaves face real and consistent punishment for their behavior. Will this country have any chance of addressing the way slavery continues to shape daily life? And that's the end of that one. So what you think about that one? So they wonder why we don't respect the police and why we don't talk to the police, and we got brothers dying on TV live every day. It's almost like they don't want us to respect them at the end of the day, and they don't want us to get on the same page. They're gonna always keep something going to keep us on our toes. There's a lot of violence going on, and like I said, a lot of people really don't care until they get close to home. That's sad.
But as long as they have prisons and jails, can there ever be a neutral agreement?
Well, it's profit for your hardship, or another man's gonna profit off of it. I caught you for jaywalking, nigga. 5 years in prison. You see what I'm saying? And ain't nothing you can do about it. Like, well, I can't do nothing about it. Shut up and take these 5 years, and then you find out, oh, I'm black. Oh, no wonder that white man got less time than me. Because I just didn't give you jurisdiction. I gave you me. I put myself on the shelf and gave you a number. I'm a product in their warehouse. Until you go check yourself out, that joker. Almost like the Matrix when the little babies and they was using the energy of human beings until somebody wake them up and they come up out that little. That's basically what it is. You got to wake up.
So in other words, nothing has changed, right?
Nothing has changed. That's right. So basically, that's basically all I have as of right now. Just adding this information and getting it out there. Trying to make sure this work and this information do get out there. And I guess I don't have nothing else. I was looking to see if I had another one pull up, but I don't. So I'll see y'all again today. That was 2 quick stories, and these are short stories by Coach T.C.B. We got Man, Sharka, and Nick in the building. With our executive producer over there and Dejan over there cutting up. So we'll come back on later. We're just putting this stuff together and just working to get this information out there. I don't want it too long so people can go back and get it. Put something on your mind, drop some seeds or something. They are not our friends at this moment. I'm not going to say it never will be, but at this moment, we're dying for no reason. I'm scared.
So
I ain't scared of the police.
What do we do in the meantime?
What you mean what we do?
To avoid these problems.
You
when
know
they get behind us, I mean, we can't. We gotta
I ain't gonna
see
them
them eventually.
You getting way off my feet.
We gotta see them eventually. Where they get behind us on the road.
Yeah, I mean, really, it is no secret. Just playing. We really got to figure out a way to just go at them. If they deal with one of us, they got to deal with the whole community. If they lock one of us up for some BS, driving violation or something like that, and we ain't hurt, kill nobody, damage nobody property, or swindle nobody out they stuff, then I think the whole community as a whole should be going down there with as many as we can get. If you sitting at home doing nothing, playing video games, and that man just got locked up, you should be one of the ones to go down there. If your man go to work and you at home kicking your feet watching soap operas, you should be one of the ladies to go down there. It's going to take an effort from both of us. All of us going to have to start going to court for each other. We shouldn't be going down there by ourselves. They want you to come down there by yourselves. Do your genealogy, find out who your ancestors are, tie into that tribe. 9 times out of 10, they have a legal department, and get out these folks' jurisdiction. You know who you are, quit playing. Next question.
Are the police as bad overseas as they are in America?
Hell yeah. I mean, yeah.
Then, because I really don't hear none of the stories overseas.
That's because they paint the pictures. And when you look at the stories in Africa, it's what? They in famine, they hungry. You look at the pictures in England, everybody's James Bond and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just the propaganda that they push.
Yeah, but an African once told me that over there in Africa, they push like everything is gold over here to push everybody over here.
Well,
so it's vice versa.
They want them over here to add furthermore to make us believe that we are something that we are not. I was on that lady's show last night talking about everybody know we African. You can just look at the pictures and tell, Negro, please. I said, I would love to have a conversation with them. You didn't see them say, oh, sure, come. No, you know they didn't want to talk to my ass.
I would say hire more Aboriginal police officers, but they're just as bad, if not worse.
Well, I think they just as bad as when you're dealing with Aboriginals trying to play on their playing field. Can I get what I'm saying? Like, instead of doing it as a job, you didn't overdid it. You know we go out and beyond for hours. Y'all know that. I got you, boss. You need 10 niggas today, boss? I'll get you 10 niggas today, boss. So, yeah. We got to tighten up and we got to start sticking up for one another. And we got to start helping each other. It's more than just paying bills and getting some groceries in someone's house. It's a lot of issues where these folks is trying to take us away from our families and different things like that, and we got to get in the way, and we have to protect one another. That's how you put a damper in their stunts. Oh, and if you live in Highland, y'all need to get together and protest and get them satellites from outside of them buildings. But that's another story for another day.
What they got them out there for?
Somebody said 5G. I think I'm going blind. But I think that's it for those 2 stories. I'll get back with you all later. Thank y'all for coming through. Let's see what we got. And have a great day.